In this episode, we'll begin by examining food chains. Next, we'll trace energy movement through feeding relationships. And finally, we'll take a look at predator prey relationships. Let's begin with the fundamental concept of food chains. A food chain is a linear sequence that shows how energy and nutrients pass within an ecosystem from one organism to another through feeding. All food chains begin with organisms capable of producing their own food, known as producers. These organisms form the essential foundation of all life on Earth by creating biomass from inorganic substances. Producers, typically plants or algae, manufacture glucose through the process of photosynthesis. This remarkable biochemical process converts light energy from the sun into chemical energy stored in glucose molecules. When plants produce glucose, some is used immediately for respiration to release energy for cellular processes. The remainder gets converted into other biological molecules such as starch, cellulose, and proteins that build the plant's structure. These molecules collectively form what scientists term biomass, the total mass of living material in an organism. Biomass represents stored chemical energy that originated from sunlight captured during photosynthesis. This energy transfers through the ecosystem when one organism consumes another, though the transfer is never completely efficient. At each stage, substantial energy is lost through respiration, movement, and heat production. Primary consumers are herbivores that feed directly on producers. These herbivores, such as rabbits, deer, or caterpillars, obtain their energy by consuming plant material. They convert plant biomass into animal biomass through the processes of digestion. Primary consumers subsequently become food for secondary consumers, which are carnivores that feed on herbivores. Secondary consumers may then be consumed by tertiary consumers, creating additional levels in the food chain. The numbers of organisms at each level demonstrate the inefficiency of energy transfer. Consider this simplified example of numbers. Thousands of plants might support hundreds of caterpillars, which in turn could sustain tens of small birds, and that may support one eagle. We must now examine the dynamic relationship between predators and prey. Predators are animals that capture and consume other animals, whilst prey are the animals being consumed. In ecosystems containing both predator and prey species, population dynamics follow predictable patterns. These populations don't remain constant, but instead fluctuate in regular cycles that maintain ecosystem balance. Initially, prey populations are typically limited by the availability of their food resources. When conditions are favorable and food is abundant, prey populations can increase substantially. As prey numbers increase, predators have access to more food, which improves their survival and reproduction rates. Consequently, the predator population begins to grow in response to this increased food availability. However, as predator numbers rise, they consume increasing quantities of prey. This increased predation pressure causes the prey population to decline significantly. With fewer prey available, predators face food scarcity, which leads to reduced predator survival and reproduction, causing their population to decrease. As predator numbers fall, predation pressure on prey diminishes, allowing prey populations to recover. This recovery of prey numbers eventually provides more food for predators, initiating another cycle. The process continues indefinitely, creating fluctuations in both populations. Significantly, these population cycles are not synchronized but show a characteristic time lag. Changes in prey population are followed by corresponding changes in predator population after a delay. This delay occurs because population responses require time to manifest. When prey numbers decline, predators don't immediately disappear as they can survive temporarily on reduced food or stored energy reserves. Understanding food chains and predator prey relationships enables ecologists to predict ecosystem responses to environmental changes. This knowledge proves essential for effective conservation strategies and ecosystem management. In our next episode, we'll examine how materials like carbon and water cycle through ecosystems, returning to the environment for reuse by living organisms.